Unlocking financial abundance, it's not about hard work, it's about inner energy. Forget the grind. The conventional wisdom that wealth is solely the product of relentless toil and sacrifice is a myth, cleverly disguised trap keeping most people stuck in a frustrating cycle of striving. I know it sounds crazy, especially considering the relentless message we've all absorbed about hard work being the key to success. But there's a different path, a path I stumbled upon after realizing the real secret isn't physical effort, but the invisible, unconscious energy we project into the world. Many believe prosperity is a direct result of putting in the hours, a simple equation of time equals money. This is a misconception. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle, even with equal talent and dedication, isn't about hours worked, but about their internal programming, the unspoken beliefs governing their thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's a hidden operating system subtly directing every choice, every decision. And as long as that system is focused on scarcity, effort is futile. It's like running on a treadmill, going nowhere. I've been there. Deep in debt, earning a paltry $4,000 a year while owing $6,000. I worked myself to the bone, yet nothing changed. The problem wasn't lack of effort, but the programming of my mind. My focus was on fear, lack, deprivation. The universe simply mirrored that vibration. The turning point? Shifting my inner landscape, not my actions. I started writing a seemingly absurd affirmation on a card: I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $25,000 a year. Initially, it felt like a lie, but the constant repetition, infused with emotion, gradually took root in my subconscious. Once the mind accepts something as truth, it finds subtle ways to manifest that new reality. Ever wonder why you keep repeating the same financial mistakes despite knowing the right steps: saving, investing, changing habits? It's not about discipline or intelligence, it's about that hidden programming dictating your behavior. This programming is made up of beliefs absorbed since childhood: money is dirty, rich people are dishonest, you have to suffer to achieve anything. These subconscious commands silently sabotage prosperity's flow, causing you to start something with gusto, only to abandon it midway. It's not a lack of will, it's your programming running the show. Earl Nightingale's audios were transformative. I listened repeatedly, in the car, on planes, at home. This constant repetition was like water sculpting stone, it slowly reshaped my subconscious. What once seemed impossible, earning $100,000 a year, reaching my first million, transitioned from a distant dream to something natural. And when something feels natural to the mind, reality responds. I started seeing opportunities where I once saw obstacles, making confident decisions that attracted people and circumstances aligned with my new vibration. Physical effort alone is worthless without a mind aligned with abundance. Knowledge without paradigm shift is sterile. You can study for years, accumulating degrees and certifications, but if you believe wealth is unattainable or that you're not destined for it, that will be your reality. This explains why so many capable and intelligent people remain financially frustrated. Notice the seemingly lucky ones, those with opportunities seemingly appearing out of thin air. Observe their easy, natural conversations about money: no panic, no drama. That inner state of confidence and clarity creates the conditions for wealth to flow. It's not luck, it's energy. Conversely, those who constantly complain, compare, criticize, and dwell on lack attract precisely what they want to avoid. Transformation begins with consciously releasing inherited programming. Stop seeing scarcity as normal, allow yourself to deeply feel abundance as your birthright. It's not just positive thinking, it's profoundly feeling you deserve it, that you are already part of that flow. Daily repetition of this feeling, visualizing your desired life, changes your energetic field. And when your energy shifts, the world shifts with you. It's not about chasing money, but aligning with it, like tuning a radio until the music is crystal clear. The music of prosperity is already playing, you simply need to adjust your frequency to hear it. Money needs space to enter, not just in your budget, but physically, in your schedule, and especially in your mind. As long as you're cluttered with useless possessions, energy-draining commitments, and repetitive thoughts of the past, the new cannot find its way in. I experienced this almost comically at home. After a seminar in Toronto about creating space for the new, I returned to find my living room completely empty: table, chairs, sofas, gone. Initially shocked, I then burst into laughter. I'd asked the universe for movement, and it had answered. Better furniture, more aligned opportunities, and strategic partnerships soon followed. Life fills the space you clear. It's a practical law, releasing what no longer serves you declares, through action, your readiness for what you truly desire. The most common objection is the fear of regret. What if I get rid of something and need it later? What if I miss an opportunity? This fear has psychological roots. We tend to overvalue what we possess simply because it's ours, the endowment effect. The result? We hoard useless items, cling to dying projects, and carry emotional baggage just to avoid losing something that's already costing us dearly. Understanding this bias helps overcome the paralysis of letting go and opens the door to better choices today. There's also a biological cost to living in clutter. UCLA researchers found that disorganized homes are linked to higher cortisol levels, the stress hormone, especially in women, suggesting that material disorder translates into chemical disorder in the body. The feeling of incomplete tasks worsens the overload. The Zeigarnik effect explains why unfinished tasks disproportionately occupy the mind, consuming focus and peace. When you finish, donate, or discard something, you're not just organizing your house, you're reducing mental noise and freeing creative energy for opportunities and income. My approach is simple and rigorous. I choose a small space, a drawer, a shelf, my email inbox, and ask, does this bring me closer to the life I want? If not, I release it. No drama, no lengthy explanations. I apply the same criterion to my schedule. Commitments that don't nourish me become polite no's. This isn't just minimalism, it's a prosperity strategy. Warren Buffett sums it up best: the difference between successful people and highly successful people is that highly successful people say no to most things. Each conscious no creates high-quality time for thinking, feeling, and acting in the right direction, and that's where lucrative ideas are born. To experience wealth flowing with less resistance, I propose a 7-day challenge. Day 1, discard 10 unused items. Day 2, complete a small, nagging task. Day 3, say no to a commitment that doesn't align with your future self. Day 4, create a prosperity zone, at home, a clean desk, notebook, and pen. Day 5, audit subscriptions and micro expenses, cut what's unnecessary. Day 6, dedicate 2 hours a week to brainstorming new income streams, no messages. Day 7, write an affirmation and read it emotionally morning and night. I release what limits me and open space for new income sources to arrive in expected and unexpected ways. If doubt arises, acknowledge it and continue. Doubt is a habit, and habits can be relearned. I've seen lives transformed simply by creating space. Clients who donated half their possessions and received previously blocked opportunities weeks later. Professionals who cancelled 3 unproductive meetings and conceived their best performing product that same quarter. And yes, I've seen the opposite: brilliant people trapped in 10 mediocre projects, unable to say no, drowning their talent in excess. It's not mysticism, it's coherence. Where there's space, there's flow. Where there's coherence between what you think, feel, and tolerate, money finds its way. Create space today, on your shelf, in your schedule, in your heart, and watch life rush in to fill the void with what aligns with who you've chosen to become. Feeling precedes seeing. I had to train my body to feel prosperity as normal, not an exception. When you check your bank balance and feel a pang of anxiety, your vibration is stuck in scarcity. When you cultivate security and gratitude as your natural state, your mind begins to seek and recognize paths compatible with that security. This is precisely what I did when I wrote on that card, I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $25,000 a year. I read it morning and night, and I didn't just read it, I felt the emotion, as if it were already happening. Over time, internal resistance yielded, and opportunities emerged where I once saw only obstacles. To make this state replicable, I used 3 levers: repetition, emotion, and mental rehearsal. Repetition alone is weak, emotion without repetition is unstable, together, they reprogram. I recorded my own voice reciting affirmations and listened at night, with soft music, because during sleep the critical filter slows down and the seeds take deeper root. The old mind will protest, this is nonsense, it doesn't work. I heard that chorus too. I continued anyway. With each felt repetition, you subtly shift your self-image, and a new self-image spontaneously chooses new actions. Clear rituals accelerate the process. I propose a simple, practical, and inflexible 30-day protocol. First, a minute of slow breathing to shift your physiological state. Second, 11 minutes of visualization. See your abundant routine in detail, the serenity of paying bills on time, the creativity at work, the conversations where you say no to non-priorities and yes to value multipliers. Third, 3 minutes of writing, a present tense affirmation, alive with the dollar amount written out. I am so happy and grateful now that I receive $100,000 a year from expected and unexpected sources. Write it, read it aloud, and record a 2-minute audio. Carry it with you and listen during transitions, commute, queues, walks. At the end of the day, a 1-minute rehearsal, eyes closed, a specific thank you for something that progressed today, a contact, an idea, an insight, a small win. The mind learns through emotional evidence. If you stumble, resume the same day. Consistency trumps intensity. Common objections arise. What if I'm deluding myself? This isn't about denying facts, but changing the state that selects the facts. Emotions shape financial choices. Science shows that gratitude, for example, increases economic patience and reduces the impulse to take smaller rewards now instead of larger ones later. This alters everyday saving, investing, and negotiating decisions. It's not mysticism, it's a measurable effect on financial choices. Another point, can I just visualize and wait? No. Visualization prepares the ground, simple, if, then. Action plans make the seed sprout. When I set triggers, if I open my banking app, then I'll invest first and spend later. I delegate the decision to context and remove it from willpower. This type of plan greatly increases the execution rate. And why so much focus on positive emotions? Because states like interest and contentment expand your mental repertoire, allowing you to see options that anxiety blinds. Those with expanded repertoires identify more ways to generate value and income. I had an experience that still moves me. At a time when my focus was on debt, my mentor asked, "What if you used the same energy you spend worrying to play with bigger numbers?" I grabbed a calculator and started playing. What does earning $10,000 a month represent per day? What does earning $100,000 a year represent per week? If I project $1 million in 5 years, what daily chunks does that become? I did this for weeks, not to force anything, but to normalize it. Those figures, which once shrank me, lost their emotional weight. Suddenly, I wasn't asking for small opportunities, I was generating projects compatible with my new internal measure. The emotion here was surprise and joy. It was like discovering a hidden dial within me, and turning it changed the world outside. If you tend to get stuck, do a small pattern interrupt. Now, 10 slow breaths. Then describe in simple words the feeling of having financial breathing room at the end of the month. Don't describe the scene, describe the feeling. Peace? Relief? Calm pride? Repeat the emerging term 3 times internally. Label the emotion you want to cultivate and install it as your day's starting state. This doesn't pay bills, it changes the you who deals with them, and that you makes different decisions, negotiates better, prioritizes better, says no more firmly, notices the right contact amidst a busy schedule. To summarize everything in one small, powerful gesture, I leave a specific 7-day challenge within the 30. Every morning, before touching your phone, read your gratitude card aloud with the dollar amount written out. Breathe as if you already live that reality, and make a single, if, then. Money commitment for the day. If I receive any money today, then I'll immediately set aside 10%. If I go to the supermarket, then I'll stick to the list with no extras. If an invitation arises that doesn't bring me closer to my goal, then I'll politely decline. This combination of feeling plus deciding plus acting, repeated, becomes identity, and a new identity pulls new results with far less friction than brute forcing the world. Desire is an organizing force. When it's clear, persistent, and felt in the body, it summons people, ideas, and resources you don't yet know. I experienced this in the early 70s, when it seemed I was alone, without partners, just a vision many would call audacious. I held that vision with daily devotion, not as someone daydreaming, but as someone already on the path. Gradually, the pieces began to fit, first a brilliant financial mind, then a disciplined operator, then a communicator with heart. The message spread, the impossible began to take shape. It wasn't luck, it was strong desire acting as a magnetic field, aligning circumstances with the frequency I emitted. Many confuse desire with anxiety. Anxiety is noise, desire is direction. Anxiety seeks shortcuts, desire sustains the process. I kept the question alive, what is coherent with my vision today, and answered with small but relentless actions. One phone call a day. One invitation sent. One presentation refined. Repetition with emotion. While I did my visible part, the invisible part happened. Doors I didn't know existed opened, people I never planned to meet appeared in the right corridor, at the right time. This is how true desire works. It doesn't ask permission from limited logic, it reorganizes your surroundings from the inside out. There's a second pillar that mature desire always requires: multiple income streams. Truly prosperous people rarely depend on a single source of income, they allow for several, in harmony with their talents and values. When this understanding arrived, my focus shifted from, how do I pay the bills at the end of the month, to, how do I make money work for me while I sleep? This simple shift in questions elevates daily decisions. You stop trading hours for crumbs and start building assets, products, licenses, partnerships, and royalties. It's not about running faster, it's about designing parallel channels for the water to flow. For those currently employed, raising children, or studying, and thinking, I don't have time, I propose a three-pronged approach that fits into real life. First, conversion income, something that quickly transforms knowledge into money, short mentorships, digital guides, recorded classes. Second, recurring income, something that pays monthly without your constant presence, subscriptions, content clubs, service maintenance, simple royalties. Third, appreciation income, something that appreciates over time, a book that continues to sell, a small stake in a project, a scalable digital asset. Choose one micro step in each area. In 30 days, you'll have 3 seeds planted, and planted seeds don't ask if, they ask when. I used an exercise that changes the internal scale, conscious normalization. I took a sheet of paper and wrote in large letters, I am so happy and grateful now that I receive $100,000 a year, from expected and unexpected sources. Then I listed 5 possible paths, some obvious, others audacious. I didn't demand that all of them happen, I was training my nervous system to call that number by name without shrinking. Note the detail, written out in full, in dollars, as the precision of the mind demands. Then I chose one 10-minute action that made one of those paths a little more likely that day: an email sent, a page published, a meeting scheduled. 10 minutes, every day, until the improbable became familiar. Pattern interrupt now, close your eyes for 10 seconds and describe, in one word, the feeling of seeing money coming in from 3 different places in the same month. Hold on to that word, perhaps security, perhaps lightness, perhaps calm pride. Say it internally 3 times and open your eyes as if you've just received an invisible replenishment. Unlocking your financial potential, a mindset shift. Many people feel stuck, believing success hinges on connections or luck. But what if I told you the key unlocks from within? It's not about chasing opportunities, it's about becoming the kind of person who attracts them. Think Thomas Edison, his relentless drive wasn't stubbornness, it was unwavering conviction. He knew what he wanted to achieve, and he didn't let setbacks derail him. That's the power of a clear vision. Start by defining your financial goals. Not vaguely, but precisely. Write down your desired income, say, $100,000 a year, in a clear, compelling statement. Record yourself reading it, infusing your voice with genuine emotion. This isn't about positive affirmations, it's about anchoring your desire in your subconscious. Next, build small, consistent actions into your routine. These aren't massive overhauls, but tiny steps that reinforce your new financial identity. For instance, before checking your bank account, listen to your recorded statement. Then, commit to 3 small actions each day for 10 minutes each: sending a business email, researching investment options, or even decluttering your workspace. This creates a domino effect. Small changes in your daily routine pave the way for significant shifts. Think in if-then statements. If I finish work by 6 p.m., then I'll network with someone in my field. If I receive any income, then I'll immediately invest 10%. If an opportunity arises that doesn't align with my vision, then I politely decline. These simple rules create automated pathways to success, reducing reliance on willpower. This isn't about magically attracting money, it's about aligning your inner world with your outer goals. Your actions must mirror your intentions. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony, money flows effortlessly. It's a natural consequence of inner coherence. Imagine a lighthouse. It doesn't chase ships, it shines brightly, guiding them home. Your unwavering focus on your financial goal will draw the right opportunities your way. A crucial element is cultivating an attitude of gratitude and security. Replace apprehension with appreciation, even before you review your bank balance. This shift in mindset will open doors you never knew existed. Establish coherent anchors, simple physical, verbal, and behavioral cues to reinforce your positive financial identity. These could include mindful breathing, repeating positive affirmations, or making a small investment before making any purchases. Remember, it's not about making things happen through sheer force of will, it's about creating the right internal environment. This process is not magical, it's based on proven psychological principles. By shifting your inner frequency, you alter the opportunities that present themselves. Your actions will become aligned with your new belief systems. The money will follow. This is a journey, not a race. Take the time to feel the change from the inside out. The outer reality will naturally follow. And remember, even small steps taken consistently will lead to significant progress. So, take that first step, and watch your financial landscape transform.